Full drone footage there. We'll be having more of that footage as the closing ceremony gets underway at 8 o'clock local time. Great to see the stands full and the drone shots and the smiling faces there of the volunteers. Well, we will, at the conclusion of this closing ceremony, of course, the mantle will be handed over to Tahiti, who will host the Pacific Games in 2027. So from one side of the Pacific, we go to the other.
That's right. The next hosts will be handed over from Solomon Islands to the next host, and that will be Tahiti. And very soon also, we will be taking our seats up in the stands to witness the closing ceremony and the official dimming of the lights tonight after a fantastic 2 weeks of competition.
Yeah, that's right. Well, stay with us. I am anticipating a performance from Tahiti itself as they look to welcome the Pacific Games to their shores. And you can just see what it means to the people here of the Solomon Islands. They have been welcoming. The overarching comment has been how friendly everybody has been, how helpful everybody has been. Yes, there have been challenges, but we have celebrated and we have united across these Pacific Games, and it's time to party.
Yes, the party which happens mostly highly likely after the official part of the program ends. But yes, a shout out to all the workforce, the volunteers who have been working day and night as helping hands around. Of course, like you've said, Seamus, there has been a lot of challenges here and there over the past 2 weeks. But yeah, we are here. We've come to the finish line. And those volunteers we have there in shot deserve to really smile tonight.
Well, it's great that the unsung heroes behind the scenes get an opportunity in the bright lights of the National Stadium. They really have been a force behind the scenes. The neon yellow shirts are everywhere. It's really not possible to run an event of this magnitude without that volunteer group. And let's not forget, Lisa, this is the first time that the Solomon Islands have hosted the Pacific Games. There has never been an event of this size here in the Solomon Islands. So just wonderful that we've been able to bring you all of this coverage and bring you all of the sporting highlights.
And tonight it is a sold-out stadium tonight as well, and also just really putting it out there that what the Pacific Games and what just happened like the past couple of days, what it really, really means to the people, because as you've said, this is the first time that we have hosted such a big event as this.
Yeah, well, if you're out there and these pictures have tempted you to come and visit the Solomon Islands, we are more than welcome. We'd love to see you here and enjoy the sporting action. And of course, these facilities that we have building a legacy for future sporting events. And you can see there the lights taking over Honiara, the National Stadium, part of a precinct with multiple venues. You can see the National Aquatic Centre off in the background. There is also the National Tennis Centre, the Friendship Hall, which was a site of basketball, of volleyball, of netball, and of course of boxing. And that boxing action, which concluded today, also included 13 tickets to the Olympic Games in Paris 2024. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the 13 days of sporting coverage we have been able to bring you. It's been a pleasure bringing you the sights and sounds of the 2023 Pacific Games. We're going to head up to the closing ceremony, which promises to be a fitting farewell from the Solomon Islands.
Just like that, she does it. She's got the goal.
These are the moments to cherish, games we live on forever.
We won! Medal. The gold medal is in for Fiji. Fiji have gold medalist.
You got to show your island pride. Raise your games flags high. Let your spirit be free. It's time for you and me. Sol 2023.
1, 2, 3. Massey goes in for the ball. It's an Tahiti win their 13th gold medal in the women's volleyball at the Pacific Games.
Try. It's another gold medal.
There it is. 3 gold medals straight.
Rajan brings in the 10th gold medal.
Gold medal champions for 2023. The Cook Islands.
Tahiti chance here to finish it off. Yes, that's it. The Tahitian volleyball juggernaut continues.
My Solomon Islands way.
From the heart of Melanesia on this beautiful Saturday evening, welcome to Honiara, and this is the closing ceremony of the 17th Pacific Games, and what a night. This incredible national stadium hosting tonight's farewell to the Pacific and its athletes and sending them off in true Melanesian style. For the past 2 weeks, we here in Honiara, and Honiara of course has been home to 5,000 athletes from 24 nations competing in 25 sports, and those feats have redefined sports excellence in the Pacific, and for some those achievements will take them to Paris and the Olympic Games next year. The Games have transformed the sporting capacity of this island nation, and the legacy is going to last absolute generations, as will the sports facilities built for these games, including this incredible centerpiece, the National Stadium, that is of course tonight hosting this amazing ceremony. Already tonight we've seen some fantastic feats, the crowd, the atmosphere, it's electric, it's a night of nights, and Seamus Martin, you must be very proud to be here.
Well, as a proud son of the Solomon Islands, as the games draw to a close, I'm filled with a sense of pride and awe for what has been achieved. Over the past 2 weeks, we've witnessed incredible feats of athleticism, unbreakable spirits, and the true essence of sportsmanship. Brendan, we stand tonight amongst an ocean of stars, athletes, officials, supporters from across the Pacific, and of course, right here in the Solomon Islands itself, who have hosted their first ever Pacific Games with friendship, with warmth and dignity. From the shores of the Solomon Islands across the Pacific Ocean and around the world, tonight we reflect on a journey that has embraced the values of challenge, celebrate and unite.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, Seamus, already we've been celebrating and honouring the fantastic technical officials and the volunteers as well. The 7,000 of them that were just about to parade out here on this national stadium that have put in so much and made us feel so welcome from all parts of the Pacific, including our brothers and sisters from Australia and New Zealand as well, who are now very much part of this Pacific experience.
Well, that's right. The Pacific Ocean knows no boundaries. It washes on the shores right here in the Solomon Islands, in Papua New Guinea, in Micronesia in the north, down in Aotearoa in the south, and all the way east to French Polynesia, who will be the hosts of the next Pacific Games.
Look at the crowds in and around the National Stadium here tonight. I tell you what, that is going to fill up. The traffic will come to a standstill. The buzz here is absolutely palpable. There's such enthusiasm, such emotion. And for the last 2 weeks, we've been riding this incredible high here. And that tonight, it all comes to a close in Melanesian style. But we're all linked, Seamus, by this beautiful Pacific Ocean, of course. And, you know, we've been enjoying the joy and the expression of Melanesian and Pacific culture. And importantly, of course, in these somewhat troubled times, the unifying power of sport and particularly, Seamus, the harmony of the Pacific and the Pacific peoples. It's been outstanding.
Well, it really has, Brendan, and you can't escape the fact that the Solomon Islands itself has had a challenging history, and the unification powers of sport evidence within Team Solomons as well. They have more than doubled their medals from 4 years ago, a sensational achievement on the beautiful venues of Honiara, but as well, maybe the enduring memories of the people here will be the warmth of their hosts.
Indeed. You know, the games, as you say, Seamus, it's transformed the sporting capacity of this island nation. I mean, look at this facility, this legacy, and that legacy is going to last for generations. And the sports facilities, of course, built for the games, the aquatic centre next door, this facility, the best track facility anywhere in the Pacific at the moment, bar none. And it's already produced some extraordinary memories for us, some amazing sporting moments, and may longer continue.
Well, I think I described the Solomon Islands as the hidden gem of the Pacific during the opening ceremony. Well, the nation has done its absolute best to show the beauty and the value that there are in this archipelago of nearly 1,000 islands.
So the crowd just being cranked up a little bit here, Seamus. They're getting into it, and I think it's going to be very festive and very colourful by the time the fireworks go off in an hour or two.
Oh, absolutely, and spare a thought for the ground staff. I've mentioned this a couple of times. They've turned the National Stadium from an opening ceremony host to a Rugby League Nines venue, to a Rugby Sevens venue, to an athletics venue, to a football venue, and tonight to a dance floor. I'm sure we are going to see some amazing entertainment.
I tell you what as well, Seamus, there are going to be some heavy hearts as well. You know, the prospect of leaving our beautiful home. We've been adopted by the beautiful Solomon Islands. The generosity of our hosts has been absolutely phenomenal. And of course, a chance tonight to bid farewell, to thank everybody here. And as you rightly say, get a warm welcome from Tahiti on the eastern side of the Pacific, waiting for us in 4 years' time.
Yes, the paddle will be passed on to Tahiti, and I'm sure they will set sail for 2027. That promises to be an improvement, shall we say, on what I think are the biggest games in memory.
Yeah, the last time we saw the games in Tahiti was back in 1995. It's a 22-year wait. They want the games. They've been pushing for it for a long time. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But I tell you what, the Tahitians got something special planned. There's going to be a festival of Pacific sport and culture in a month before the official games get underway. It's going to be a month and a half of an expansion on Pacific sport and brotherhood across the region. It's going to be sensational. That's in the future. Right now, we're honouring the magnificent Solomon Islands and what they've done for us this last 2 weeks. Sensational.
And we begin to welcome the participating nations back to the National Stadium, beginning with American Samoa.
These are the powerlifters from American Samoa, silver medalists, the pair of them, and they've had a whole lot of fun here. And American Samoa, of course, one of the countries that will be looking to host, has put in an expression of interest, incidentally, in upcoming games, both mini and major games in future years. Been a while since we were back in Pango Pango, but I tell you what, their powerlifters, they've been pretty effective here.
Oh, don't forget about the swimmers in the first week as well, adding a couple of silverware there. And Australia, well, they sent the largest delegation that they have in their 3 previous performances here at the Pacific Games.
Caitlin Parker from boxing is looking after their flag-bearing duties today. There she is. Boxing team, massive contributor to the positive culture, and also the Cook Islands. How can we not forget the Cook Islands, Seamus?
Well, one of your favourites, Brendan.
One of my favourites, and one of yours, baby.
And mine as well.
Come on.
There's no hiding my my fondness for the Cook Islands. Kia ora to everyone back in the Cook Islands. A fantastic achievement as well from the Cooks. Their swimming team of 2 bringing home 4 gold medals. And we can't forget the women's Rugby League Nines. They had an arduous journey here, and they've come away with a gold medal.
FSM as well, looking to be represented here. This is Scott Fight, Athletics Commission. And FSM travelling pretty well as well here. They picked up a couple of golds in the swimming pool as well.
Yes, they did. Tasi Limtiako, the triple crown in the breaststroke, 50, 100, 200, and threw in a silver medal for good measure as well.
Stunning performance. And when we get up to Palau for the mini games as well, you'll see a lot of the Micronesians up there really settle into their work. And what about this team? And what about this particular athlete with the flag here tonight? Swept the field in the big distance events, and Karan here, absolutely brilliant. A wonderful track and field exponent, and 3 big gold medals going back to Fiji from him.
Yeah, that's right. The 5,000, 10,000 double, and then throwing in the men's 3,000 metre steeplechase for good measure.
And I tell you what, Guam has done extremely well as well here at these games. They too are one of the potential bidders upcoming. How can we not forget young Tan there in the 10,000, the 5,000 women's, the gold medals there was absolutely fantastic. CNMI up there in Micronesia as well, doing extremely well. So Micronesia, I think, will come into its own when we get to see them up in the mini games up in Palau in a couple of years' time. Kiribati as well got a great tradition here.
Well, a large Kiribati community call the Solomon Islands home. They've been well supported through the duration of these 2 weeks.
Martial liners as well, and how can we not forget Mathlin Sassa, who absolutely demolished the competition in the weightlifting. She's one of those very talented performers that we may well see qualify for the Olympic Games. Marshall Islands well represented. And behind them, another Micronesian powerhouse as well. Their powerlifting and weightlifting teams have been absolutely sensational. They pulled a series of big medals out of the powerlifting.
That's right, 9 gold medals in powerlifting to go, with 1 gold medal in karate for Nauru. Sensational, but not as sensational as New Caledonia, Brendan.
Unbelievable, and what a performance by this team, topping the gold medal tally with performances like Lara Grandjean in swimming, not only over the years epoch-making, and now an incredible number of gold medals by their star swimmer, 49 in all over the last 3 games.
Well, they broke Solomon Island hearts right here this morning in the men's football match, taking gold on a penalty shootout, their 8th in their history.
It was very heartbreaking. New Zealand as well, now part of this Pacific family. Track and field, of course, absolutely phenomenal, and wonderful to see that New Zealand beginning to get a bit of a taste of what the Pacific Games can provide and offer. Good to see them here.
Well, wasn't it amazing to see the big man David Leti in Pacific Games action, going head-to-head in the super heavyweight weightlifting, and Niue, a amazing gold medal performance this afternoon from this man, Dukin Williams.
A wonderful champion boxer, and Niue celebrating a great games for them as well. The Rock, they call themselves. And here is our bronze medalist from Norfolk Island as well in the Va'a. Norfolk Island, great to see them, and always wonderful when Norfolk gets out with that beautiful green and white.
Well, they were welcomed at the opening ceremony with just a single flag bearer, and they won the hearts in that opening ceremony. And there is our 5,000, 10,000 metre double champion.
Indeed she is, and she's absolutely celebrating. What a fantastic event it was for her. Brilliant games as well on the track. Tanya Tan there, the first CNMI athlete to win a pair of golds in the history of the island's participation in the Pacific Games.
Well, such a wonderful message at the end of her races as well. Never to give up.
Papua New Guinea, another machine from the Pacific, and really brought their track and field team alive the other day when their men came out and did a 1-2-3 in the 400, continuing an amazing track and field tradition as well.
Well, they were slow starters in week 1, just 4 gold medals at the end of Super Saturday, and they really put the foot down. 11 gold medals just yesterday, Brendan.
And how about this team as well? Powerlifter again from Samoa, absolutely brilliant team as well, a powerhouse.
Well, Samoa consolidating their bronze medal finish in Apia 4 years ago. They finished in 4th place.
And look who's the flag bearer again tonight, none other than Jen Lee Winnie, of course. Got Solomons off to a flyer on that first day of competition when she scooped the pool with her weightlifting gold medals.
Just soak it up.
An incredible performance. There was such a lot of pressure on her shoulders. Tahiti, host of the next games, going to turn it on. Their best ever performance, they reckon, in recent years, really building to big performance in 4 years from now.
Well, that's right. They've built a solid foundation with their performances here in the Solomon Islands to set them up for hosting in 4 years' time.
Tokelau as well. 24 nations across the Pacific.
Just the single athlete for Tokelau in judo, not able to register a medal. The only one of the 24 nations medalists at the end of 13 days of competition.
Netball gold. Tonga here celebrating a very famous victory on the netball courts. Wonderful team effort and wonderful to see the kingdom once again really beginning to assert itself.
Well, they've had a wonderful year in netball. Tuvalu, for me, one of the great unexpected stories. Men's doubles tennis, they played in the gold medal match, and men's beach volleyball earlier today as well.
Silver medal in the tennis for them. And once again, just this smattering of culture throughout the night as well, Seamus, with our flag bearers representing the different provinces of this beautiful string of islands.
Well, that's right, 9 provinces making up the Solomon Islands, and the intricate patterns, the handcrafted designs, some of the finer artwork in the Pacific.
Vanuatu.
It's the 3 gold medals for Vanuatu, coming to the fore in table tennis, and Ali Enoch in the seated shot put.
Power performance by Wallace and Fortuna again, track and field, very, very dominant.
Stephen Mailagi, I think it was, with the discus and shot put double for Wallace and Fortuna.
It was indeed. Fantastic job. And their rugby sevens team as well travelled pretty nicely. Discus as well. Fantastic performance by Wallace and Fortuna in the power events in track and field.
Well, wonderful to see the 24 flags of the nations and territories that have participated here at the 17th Pacific Games. Always admiring the colour and culture. The dining hall for me is the place where you see the colour come to life, Brendan, and what a hive of activity that is over 2 weeks.
Absolutely, and I must say the villages as well, the way that the local schools were refurbished, the dorm living was really very comfortable for the athletes. The food, 5,000 athletes, the tons of food that went through that place on a daily basis, the variety of meals, the requirements of some of the different athletes as well, all accounted for. Solomons did themselves proud.
Yeah, rave reviews out of the Solomon Islands.
Transport, I mean, we're celebrating the volunteers here as well tonight, Seamus. 7,000 of them. The personnel that went into this event, absolutely massive. And the enthusiasm and the warmth, that's the thing, you know.
Well, Brendan, don't forget the international cooperation as well, medical services, security services from around the region and further afield.
And I noticed that the Governor-General, just before we came on air, acknowledging as well the contribution of a lot of the larger neighbours in the vicinity as well, assisting. But look, when we are talking about legacy, when we are talking about infrastructure, when we are thinking about the future, look at that. This is Melanesia, in the heart of Melanesia tonight. This is just sensational. And these technical officials as well.
Well, technical officials not only from within the Solomon Islands and around the Pacific, but further afield as well. We had 13 bouts at the Friendship Hall for boxing, which were all qualifiers, 13 weight categories, qualifiers for the Paris Olympic Games.
Indeed, same for weightlifting as well, so they really had to be on their game because they're basically securing performances here that ultimately could take them all the way to the Pacific Games, the Olympic Games.
Well, they could be described as the 25th nation or team participating at the Pacific Games, these technical officials.
Bit of a wave going around this very enthusiastic and very colourful stadium here tonight. Beautiful warm night. Stars are out, the floodlights are on. It's just a very gentle breeze coming off of Iron Bottom Sound here, just off to our left, just out to the north.
And away from these pictures, Lisa Ossifello, I can see the athletes beginning to muster and they will enter the National Stadium.
Yes, that's right. We've, you know, now like standing here and just looking at everything, I can't believe like how far the country has come. It's been a while, the 4 years of preparation to get here, and the games have now nicely wrapped up, and we've come to the end, and we're seeing the athletes come on, just about to come on the tracks just for one last time. So, yep, beautiful moment tonight, clear skies. And we're in for a really nice finish.
A very festive night here tonight, Lisa and Seamus as well. And I think it's going to get more and more informal as the night goes on, just quietly.
Such is the way that these events go. The athletes have been primed and ready for so long. The competition is finished. It's time for them to enjoy themselves and enjoy the hospitality that the Solomon Islands has to offer.
Yes, and also, well, for Seamus, you and I haven't been really out all throughout for the past 13 days. But just from the stories we've heard, like they're going to have tonight, like a celebration of musicians, Solomon Island musicians. Solomon Islands is also very popular for its music in the Pacific. So we'll be in for a good show later on. As Brendan has rightfully said, the program will get more informal as we go on tonight. But yes, we're in for a good performance and music and festivities later on this evening.
So here comes the parade of athletes. They've been invited onto this magnificent stadium for a last time to thank their hosts, to bid farewell, to reflect on some amazing memories, some incredible performances. Team PNG leading them out.
Well, one of the biggest teams at the Games, the nearest neighbour to the Solomon Islands. The red, yellow and black has been prominent in this second week. And look at the size of that team.
Absolutely fantastic.
It has got that feeling about it, doesn't it? That is really going to be a celebration tonight.
I got a feeling. I just got a little feeling in my bones it could go off a little bit in a while.
Well, Papua New Guinea, the beautiful red, gold and black. Come on, field.
Fiji not too far away as well, I feel. Also think it's fantastic that we can welcome Australia and New Zealand out here as well, Seamus, Lisa, that they can test themselves out here in these conditions as well, come out and become part of this vibrancy that is Pacific sport.
Yeah, a common misconception maybe that Australia and New Zealand, not part of the Pacific, they are very much Pacific Island nations. And they are part of these Pacific Games and this Pacific movement. Invited by the Pacific Games Council 3 editions ago, I should say. They have been a welcome addition on the sporting front.
And there we welcome Team Fiji Islands in shot there in their sky blue uniforms. As Fiji, one of the big contingents also this year, waving their flags in beautiful blue. There we have Fiji Islands.
Yeah, one of the well-supported nations here, a large Fijian community that call the Solomon Islands home, Brendan.
And a powerful performance as well from their teams. Once again, you know, football and track and field, very powerful.
And also making mention to Fiji winning the basketball gold medalists also. That was really an exciting Super Saturday that we just had. Yes, Bula to Fiji and those watching in.
Ending the reign of Guam, of course, in the men's. Guam was going for the triple, couldn't do it. Fiji denying them. And Fiji is always there or thereabouts in most of the major plays.
Well, it really was a Super Saturday for Fiji. It was men's basketball gold. It was men's rugby sevens gold. It was women's rugby sevens gold. A Super Saturday for our friends in Fiji. And a big bula to all of you in the Republic. just running through the sport program, and wasn't it a mixed bag? Lisa, for the first time on Solomon Island soil, archery competitions, swimming competitions, they had been never held here before because the facilities weren't here until now.
That's right. I think that the really big highlight for everyone and all the supporters and the locals around was the swimming that gained so much popularity during the first week.
Sorry, Lisa, we've got Samoa coming out here now as well, and perhaps one of the teams that has redefined how to take on the might of Australia and New Zealand as well. I mean, what Dewey Warwick and his weightlifters done, transforming, you know, sort of scientific practice, bringing it out into the Pacific, and then bringing on a weightlifting team that is absolutely world class. Brilliant stuff by the Samoans, and perhaps a template for the future as well in terms of sport.
Well, before we welcome Australia, I just want to make a point there as well. There seems to be a movement with young Pacific Islanders migrating and moving back and looking to represent the nation of their parents and grandparents.
And Australia makes their way into the track area. Australia also this year holds, sent in their biggest contingents ever in any Pacific Games competition, mainly as probably Brendan and Seamus has mentioned, the qualifiers for the Paris Olympics next year. Big contingent for the first time for Australia.
Cook Island's just about to hit the main stadium here, and there's a little bit of a roar for them, Seamus. I think there's a few fans here.
Well, the Mexican wave is going around and around and around this national stadium. There is the Cook Islands team. We've already made mention, 5 gold medals. Another nation benefiting from those athletes wanting to represent the nation of their parents and grandparents.
Here are the Aussies. Of course, I got to know them pretty handily down at weightlifting and track and field, and who can go past the performance of Caleb Law, you know, in the sprint double, ending a great, and there's the Cook Island-born Australian boxer, the heavyweight.
Tere Moana, he booked a ticket to the Paris 2024 Olympics in the boxing program. There were 13 positions up for grabs. Incredible achievement by the Australian boxing team.
American Samoa with their power lifters coming in here and giving us a demonstration of power to weight ratios that left us a little bit agog, Seamus.
Certainly did. It certainly did. And there's the waves for the friends and family back in the Cook Islands and in Pango as well behind them.
Vanuatu coming into the National Stadium.
Yes, there we have Vanuatu in yellow making their way onto the tracks. Hallelujah for everyone. We're starting in Kamlo, Vanuatu.
Table tennis again for Vanuatu. 2 gold medals at the HCC Arena to go with a gold medal in the seated shot put.
Beach volleyball, they're pretty handy as well.
Picking up bronze, they bowed out at the semi-final stage, somewhat surprisingly to Australia, who scooped both gold medals in beach volleyball today.
So Vanuatu, one of the nations expressing an interest in 2031 as a possible venue for upcoming Pacific Games.
You can see Norfolk Island in the green, the Norfolk Pines. Really only participating in week 2, Norfolk Island. Touch rugby, netball, va'a, and athletics.
Indeed. It was interesting and lovely to see the Jones family back out there as well. Brent Jones and his daughter doing their thing.
See the purple and orange of the New Zealand team.
Handy track and field team here. They were pretty selective about what they went for as well. A lot of the Kiwis honing their skills ahead of Paris. Team Guam as well. Here they are. And a great performance by Team Guam. This team did very, very well.
And we have the Kingdom of Tonga. You can hear a roar. We've got a lot of fans and supporters, and Tonga Tala winning the netball finals today against Fiji.
Caps off a wonderful year of netball for Tonga. They finished 7th in the World Championships in South Africa. They set a goal of a gold medal at the Pacific Games in netball, and they have achieved it this morning, their 2nd gold medal of the Pacific Games. Incidentally, that first gold medal coming to the 16-year-old golfer in the women's individual event at the Honiara Golf Club at the back end of week 1.
Absolutely, that was a stunning performance.
Silver medal in women's rugby league 9s in their debut performance as well. Tonga picked up a bronze in the men's rugby league 9s. They will be a force to be reckoned with in the future, I'm sure.
And indeed, of course, for the 16-year-old Salote Vakisula as well. I mean, what a brilliant performance by her. And as a 16-year-old to take on this really accomplished field was a stunning performance by the Kingdom's young golfer. So this blaze of colour just beginning to assemble out here in the middle of this incredible stadium under these wonderful floodlights, and the crowd in raptures just cheering on these wonderful athletes that have called Solomon Islands home for the last 2 weeks. This wonderful aerial shot from our drones tonight.
Well, like it was at the opening ceremony, fans outside of the stadium as well, enjoying this spectacle. Niue picking up a solitary gold medal on the last day of competition in boxing to go with a bronze in powerlifting. The Rock coming to the fore at the back end of the Pacific Games.
And here then are the Tahitians coming in, hosts of the next games in 4 years' time.
And we've made mention already of the magnificent performance of Tahiti. They were 2nd overall in the medal table.
And just mentioning as well that a little bit of a challenge has been thrown out by Tahiti by Louis Provast, the Tahitian Pacific Games president over there. He reckons that tonight he's going to be speaking in English. I was speaking to him downstairs, and he's challenging Vidya Larkan and all the other officials that when they come to Tahiti in the next 3 or 4 years, he wants them to be speaking French.
Well, I guess that goes for the 3 of us as well then, if we want to be in Tahiti.
It does. We're going to impress the boss and try and learn a little bit of French in the next 4 years, eh?
Well, Brendan, isn't it wonderful as well to see the inclusion of parasports here in the Solomon Islands? A first for many, Lisa, to see para-athletes on the track, wheelchair, 100 metres.
A wonderful investment in parasports, particularly here at track and field. The French territories take the parasports very, very seriously, brought big teams, and had great success as a consequence.
And I'd also like to make mention to our para-athletes this year. They have performed exceptionally well, I must say, with the para-athletes and with the facilities that we have now. There'll be a lot of room for improvement in the next couple of years.
Wallace and Fortuna, again, some wonderful experiences and exploits by them in track and field.
I think we missed the Northern Marianas as well in there. They're all coming thick and fast, Brendan.
Here are the Nauruans. And another fantastic performance by them as well. Their powerlifters on fire here, and their weightlifting traditions as well. Looking forward to them hosting the micro games in a couple of years, the Nauruans.
Well, if you're new to the Pacific Games, you're really getting an education in just how vast and diverse the region is. Melanesia, Micronesia and Polynesia on display here at the National Stadium in Honiara, the Solomon Islands, the closing ceremony of the 17th Pacific Games. They're still coming through the gates.
There's the Nauruans.
And from the back, it's Kiribati.
Kiribati.
There we go. Nauru just entered. Here's the shot from Kiribati making their way into the tracks.
And of course, Kiribati, Ruben Katatoa, the young brother of David. David, incidentally, the gold medalist from Kiribati at the Commonwealth Games a number of years ago, really invested in the whole notion. We were talking before about the Pacific, sea levels, environment. Kiribati on the real forefront of that. David Katatoa, a very powerful advocate about what is happening in the Pacific and what needs to be done in the next few years as far as these small island nations are concerned. And his little brother here picking up a couple of gold medals, doing the family proud, but once again reinforcing the notion that the Pacific, although it links us, has also got some issues that we need to help it with.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a constant theme of these Pacific Games as water. It started our opening ceremony. It opened the games. It does link us, but it also is an issue for all of us to address. Thriving people, thriving Pacific will be the performance segment which we will enjoy later on, which will address some of those issues.
Here's Palau, going to be the mini games hosts in a couple of years' time.
Well, things are progressing well, as I understand it, in Palau, moving towards those mini games, Brendan.
They are indeed 12 sports. They've got a swimming pool over there as well, so swimming will be part of the mini games. Their track and field about to be refurbished, the main track, and they're going to be introducing wrestling as well, not seen since 2007, when incidentally Samoan weightlifting champ and coach Jerry Warwick pulled a couple of medals out of wrestling back then in 2007. Here's New Caledonia. What a team.
Oh, New Caledonia, they have been dominant in swimming, I must say, with the athlete Laura Grosjean just getting 14 gold medals just to herself. Amazing performance. They've dominated the Aquatic Centre in the first week of competition. There you go, the New Caledonian smiles as they wave and acknowledge the crowd as they enter. With a lot of cheers and supporters around.
You were mentioning Lara, Lisa. I'm just doing some stats on her. On top of what she pulled out of here, add that to the gold medals that she's won over the years. 49 individual medals over the years. And remember when she burst onto the scene, she entered 20 events. She won medals in all of those 20 events. 16 of them were gold.
It's an incredible achievement and testament to the dedication and craft of the athletes as we welcome the Solomon Islands to the National Stadium, Lisa, with their para-athletes leading the way, inspiring a new generation of athletes.
Yes, the very popular blue, yellow and green Team Solomon Islands making their way into the turf. They've performed exceptionally well. There was a target put of 40 gold medals, but this year, the 17th Pacific Games as host country, and the target that was set, this is the most medals that they have ever gotten in history.
Well, more than doubled their total from 4 years ago in Apia, capturing the hearts and minds of a nation. And listen to the roar. I thought maybe spirits may have been dampened with the result this morning in men's football, but the sporting fans have turned out in their thousands at the National Stadium. Not a spare seat in the house.
And I'm just thinking again now, what if the results were otherwise this morning, finishing off with a gold from football? This would be very different tonight.
We were talking about the mini games as well. I mean, it looks like Solomon's has got such a taste for the Pacific Games that it looks like it's going to be a bidder for the next round of mini games as well. It wants to get everybody back here. It can't get enough of this stuff.
And why wouldn't you want to come back?
Why wouldn't you want to come back? With facilities like this, you've got to come back.
An absolute legacy that will be left behind at the conclusion of these 2023 Pacific Games. The National Stadium, Brendan, as you say, second to none.
Look at the Aquatic Centre just off to your right, a picture there as well. I mean, we're talking National Stadium. We're talking about an aquatic centre that's second to none right next door. We're talking about a warm-up track that no other facility in the Pacific has got, but this thing has as well. I mean, this is setting the standard.
Well, don't forget SIF Academy. It has 2 football fields. It has an indoor area. It also has a beach capable of hosting beach soccer and beach volleyball. Sensational stuff.
And also the water park, which a lot of the water sports that took place over the week. The water park there, but a very, the legacy and what we have benefited from, especially the athletes. And
I wonder what dreams have been sown here in this generation. These little kids that we've seen all over the place, laughing, smiling, worshipping these heroes. What are the dreams that have been sown here?
Yeah, that's right. And a whole new generation of sporting dreams being sown here at the Pacific Games. It's been wonderful to see the stands filled with families, with mums and dads, with young children dreaming one day of being like the heroes they see in front of them. Regardless of their situation, be it para-athlete, be it able-bodied athlete, it's simply incredible.
And I mean, in terms of medals as well, I mean, you know, there's this elusive sort of 40 that we were talking about, but let's just celebrate what's been created here. I mean, it's just a number. I mean, you pulled such a huge swag of medals anyway. It was a great aspiration, but look at the delivery. This is the delivery.
Well, look at the crowd, look at the images. I hope you're enjoying this wherever you're tuning in, across the Pacific and further afield. Solomon Islands set out to challenge, to celebrate and to unite. And I firmly believe that the nation has achieved all 3 goals, Lisa.
that's right. Challenge, celebrate and unite, the theme for this year's Pacific Games. Just you can see just then shot, we have a wave going around the stadium, but we've got Team Solomons there. As you can see on your screen, just finishing off the parade coming into the area. And there is also another beautiful shot there of the stadium.
Beautiful. It reminds me of the 200 metres the other night, actually. They're at the 200-metre mark, but except there's about 1,000 or more of the Solomons team here. And the roar here, the energy in this place is, again, it's palpable. You can just feel it sweeping over you.
Well, the Solomon Islands have been afforded the honour of a full lap of the National Stadium, giving the fans an opportunity to see their family, their friends, their wontoks in the blue, yellow and green. Well, we're getting set for the formalities, but as you said, Brendan, I'm sure it's going to loosen up.
I reckon it is. And again, Seamus, I mean, it's unbelievable to think that we've been at this for some 12 days. The compression of time, these moments have just been distilled, and the compression of time, it's unbelievable to think that it's that amount of time. It's been a very concentrated, marvelous Melanesian experience. It's just been absolutely a thrill to be here.
And also, during this time of the year, it's mostly like a rainy season, but
haven't you done well?
I know.
Who did you speak to, Lisa?
I'm actually very surprised because it's usually the rainy season. I was actually anticipating that, but that didn't really happen. We had some showers, odd showers in the morning just to cool off for just a bit, but it did not rain and ruin anything, so it was perfect the past 13 days.
It was lovely, wasn't it? There had been a little bit of rain which ended up over Fiji just before we got up here. We were all saying, uh-oh. But then it just dissipated, just took off for 2 weeks. We've had perfect weather, beautiful weather.
A moment in time, and it gives me another opportunity to give a shout out to the host broadcast crew, cobbled together from the 4 corners of the Pacific, bringing you these images over the last 13 days. The memorable moments captured, distilled, and kept forever. They will live long beyond when the lights dim here at the National Stadium. And a huge thank you must go out to all of the broadcast partners, Brendan.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they must. But can I just call out a couple of guys that we don't hear a lot? One is Clint Flood, and the other one is Paul Wunitulanga. Paul and Clint, working in the background, have got the machine here. And without those guys, I tell you what, we would have been in a little bit of difficulty. But to all the crew, thank you so much. These pictures in high definition, they've been wowing them around Oceania, on the eastern side of the Pacific, all the way to the Americas, right the way across Australia and New Zealand. Awesome job. Awesome.
Fantastic job. And yes, from the bottom of my heart, big thank you to the host, the broadcaster, the crew for working long hours and bringing this images, sound and picture that will remain forever.
Well, how amazing it is as well that the friends and family all over the Pacific have these pictures beamed live into the living rooms, into the hearts and minds, but further afield, the world is seeing the Pacific Islands for what they are. Truly, truly amazing. Getting ready to move towards the national anthem of the Solomon Islands.
And the St. Barnabas Choir for the national anthem of the Solomon Islands.
S'il vous plaît, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne national des îles Salomon.
Solomon Islands from shore to shore, blessed all our people and all our land, with your protecting hand, joy.
Tears of joy here at the National Stadium as the Solomon Islands national anthem rings around.
And the St. Barnabas Choir there as well.
Well, it was the
St. Barnabas.
It was the first national anthem to be heard at the Pacific Games, Brendan, when Jenny Winnie saw the flag raised in the women's 55 kg.
Look at that side. Look at the aquatic centre up there as well from that drone vision. Incredible stuff.
Well, we'll now enjoy a performance titled Thriving People, Thriving Pacific. The theme around reduction of waste, an important point in the Pacific Islands. Our seas, our oceans, our lifeblood. Connect us, feed us, look after us. And you'll see in the costumes that there is reused plastic to create many of the props that you see. The percussion instruments, the oil containers and drums, all collected from the ocean that surrounds Honiara. turtles there. A motif which holds significant cultural, spiritual importance in many Pacific Island cultures. A revered symbol seen in art, in body art. And still in our oceans. See the blue and colour.
And just supporting the music and sound, we have the very popular panpipers, the panpipe flutes and drums. We'll be supporting the sound of tonight's performance.
Here you can see examples of reusing plastic used with the handcrafted hand pipes, cultural dress of this diverse nation. Well, that giant made out of trash, symbolic of the need to protect our oceans. Everything on this giant has been secured from the waters around Honiara, a rather poignant symbol of the wastage. As we see Solo, the mascot, a hawksbill turtle, one of the endangered turtle species of the Pacific.
There you can see in shot, that's the giant monster made of rubbish, reiterating and really pushing the importance of protecting the ocean, which the ocean means a lot to our everyday lives in the Pacific, and the natural resources that we are so blessed with. Tonight's performance re-emphasizes this message.
And that's right, as the tide rolls out on these Pacific Games, we are reminded that it is the Pacific Ocean that connects us together. And together, we are stronger and more resilient. This fight is not a fight just for the Solomon Islands, it's for all of the nations of the Pacific and the world to take arms and protect our natural environments. Well, it's a country where contemporary meets traditional culture and traditions.
together in the country. Pacific people, we ride the car pride. We don't need to hit rewind. Leave the past all behind. Our hope is like the storm. We ride it till we do. Solomon Island, we cross the car.
That's winding with your brothers and sisters who waiting on for moms holding wonders. Enjoy peace and progress in love that defines us. We are grateful to our Father and the ones that go before us. The weak and the sad for the ones chosen to lead us. For our land and the ocean, children are protectors. Personified Pacifica, we shall be and forever.
We are a country stronger from the east to the west. We are the champions. Whatever we still stand together. Solomon Islands, we are from the corner.
Your home. This is our home.
Melodies, my goodness, Holland is a mix of
Representing the Pacific Games Council, représentant le Conseil des Jeux du Pacifique, veuillez souhaiter chaleureusement la bienvenue. Please give a warm Solomon Islands welcome to President Vidya Lakan and CEO Andrew Minogue.
So now we will begin the process of the transfer of hosting from the Solomon Islands to French Polynesia, Tahiti. Andrew Minogue, Executive Director of the Pacific Games Council, and Vidya Lakan.
Good evening, Solomon Islands. For the past 2 weeks, over 3,600 athletes have competed across.
This is Andrew Minogue.
The chefs and children of the 24 participating nations have been invited to submit nominations for the best male and the best female athlete of these 17th Pacific Games. A judging panel consisting of representatives of the sports, the nations, the athletes, and the media have deliberated today. The best female athlete, with 3 gold medals from the sport of weightlifting, representing Solomon Islands, Chenli Tegu Winnie.
And what a popular choice this was.
Congratulations
by the Pacific Games Council and their special committee set up earlier on today by CEO Andrew Minogue there to come up with a athlete female of the Games, and probably little doubt, despite some extraordinary Olympic performances or near-Olympic performances, that this woman taking on the responsibility of bringing home the first gold medal for the Solomon Islands should get the gift.
Yes, a lot of respect for this particular athlete. She has been such a really outstanding sports ambassador. She is such an amazing example to the younger generation. She deserves this award.
And I'm sure that probably was in the minds of the panel as well when they made the decision, that it was that contribution.
Also with 3 gold medals, also from the sport of weightlifting, representing Fiji, Daniela Rainibongi.
Another Fiji
accepting
athlete
the award
acknowledged
on
here.
Daniela's behalf is Team Fiji Chef Sean AJ.
Rainibongi then, the team member who was acknowledged, the great weightlifter, of course, flag bearer the other night here, 12 days ago as well. And again, wonderful recognition for his 3 gold medals here.
Daniela, who is presently in Qatar for another international competition. And finally, the athletes of the Pacific have also been voting in Honiara to elect an athlete's representative to serve on the Pacific Games Council Executive Board for the next 4 years. I am pleased to announce that the successful candidate from Papua New Guinea is Ryan Penny. Ryan is over in the grandstand on the western side with his executive board. Congratulations, Ryan, on your re-election.
Ryan Penny then, as a former athlete, the wonderful swimmer from Papua New Guinea, back on to the athlete's position on the South Pacific Games Council for the next 4 years. He's up in the western grandstand.
Thank you, Andrew. Can I now request that the ceremonial flag be struck?
This is Vidya Larkan, of course, President of the Pacific Games Council.
Requesting for the Pacific Games Council flag to be lowered as the official party makes their way into the National Stadium. That flag will be lowered and presented to the Olympic Committee of French Polynesia.
And there you have the Royal Solomon Islands police band in white. As they move closer to the flagpole, which the Pacific Games Council flag will be lowered.
So the Pacific Games flag, of course, has been flying since the opening ceremony, and now it is the duty of the Games Council and the hosting nation to hand over, as Seamus was saying, to the next hosting nation, which is, of course, French Polynesia, Tahiti. So the policemen will lower the flag, which they're doing.
I have to wonder at this point, Brendan, what is the Tahitian performance that we've been rumoured to have coming? What is that going to entail?
From the Tahitians, I'll break some news for you. So basically, essentially, it's going to be in the form of a Tahitian haka. It's probably going to be requiring a response. So they will be putting down a bit of a challenge as part of a dance as well, but there'll be an element of a haka in there to throw down a challenge and invite the Pacific to come back and meet that challenge in 4 years' time. But they're very excited, the Tahitians, let me tell you. They've got big plans.
The final stages of the formalities of the conclusion of the 2023 Pacific Games in the Solomon Islands. The closing ceremony has already welcomed the athletes still here in Honiara before they return back their nations and territories. I'm sure, Lisa, with fond memories of the last 2 weeks.
Yes, we'll be expecting a very busy airport tomorrow morning, as most of the athletes, officials will be leaving tomorrow and a few days after. We're at the final stages of the formalities here. The Pacific Games flag has been lowered, taken down, and will be handed back, as this flag has been flying since the opening ceremony for the past 14 days here at the National Stadium.
And what an opening ceremony it was.
Oh, it definitely was. It was such an occasion to remember, especially for the very first time for Solomon Islands to host such a big event. Lots of memories to follow.
I'm sure those athletes waiting patiently are ready to party.
And also, from what I've heard for the performances tonight, some of the musicians that have gone way, way back, Solomon Islands will be performing tonight. And of course, things are going to get very informal after the official part.
The crowd here in this massive national stadium also seeing the pictures that you're seeing up on the big scoreboard from time to time, and they're really enjoying seeing some of the crowd shots as well, and giving everyone a big cheer when they get up on that big scoreboard.
Yeah, the history of Solomon Islands music will take place here once the international broadcast makes way. We'll all be able to kick our shoes off and let our hair down.
Yes, I was saying, Seamus and Lisa, that the Tahitians have got a big cultural event planned in and around the Pacific Games in 4 years as well. So proceedings will start off about 4 weeks before the formal Pacific Games with a major cultural event which will explore the culture of Polynesia, Tahiti in particular, but also an emphasis on traditional Polynesian sport, Pacific sport. It should be an incredible festival, and I would heartily recommend that we do indeed start maybe get some French lessons.
Most definitely.
Well, I've been lucky enough to visit Tahiti and French Polynesia in the past. It's a paradise where culture, sport and art converge. Every sunset paints a different picture. Every wave tells a story. And there'll be plenty of stories to tell in 4 years, just as there have been plenty of stories to retell here at the Pacific Games of the Solomon Islands 2023. So Martin Rara, the Solomon Islands Pacific Games Association. Will take the flag and hand over to his Tahitian counterpart.
from Martignola to Vidya Laka.
President Louis Provost, in the name of the Pacific Games Council, I entrust the ceremonial flag in your care until we meet in Tahiti in 2027 for the 18th Pacific Games.
The President of the Olympic Committee of French Polynesia, le Président du Comité olympique du Polynésie française, Monsieur Louis Provost.
Mr. Prime Minister of Solomon Islands, Mr. Governor General of the Solomon Islands, Mr. President of the Pacific Game Council, Mr. Vidya Lakan, Mr. President of the Solomon National Olympic Committee and of the Game Organization Committee, Martin Rara, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Pacific Game Council, dear member and representative of the Oceania Sport Federation, mes chers amis, présidents des comités nationaux olympiques, membres du Conseil des Jeux du Pacifique, ladies and gentlemen, dear Pacific friends, Yorana and Manawa. C'est avec une immense fierté et une grande émotion que je m'adresse à vous ce soir à l'occasion de cette cérémonie de clôture des Jeux du Pacifique 2023. It is with a great honor and emotion that I address you for this closing ceremony of the 2023 Pacific Games. Tout d'abord, permettez-moi d'exprimer nos plus sincères remerciements à nos hôtes exceptionnels, les îles Salomon. Vous avez atteint votre ambition avec succès, challenge, celebration et unité. First of all, I express my sincerest thanks to our host, the Solomon Islands. You successfully achieved your ambition, challenge, celebrate, and unite. Tongyo Tumas Solo. Ces Jeux ont été bien plus qu'une compétition sportive. Ils ont été le reflet de l'esprit océanien, de la solidarité entre nos peuples et de la passion que nous partageons tous pour le sport. These games have been much more than a sports competition. They have reflected the Oceania spirit of solidarity among our people and the passion we all share for sports. Cette passation est un moment chargé d'émotions et de responsabilités. Dans moins de 4 ans, Tahiti aura l'honneur d'accueillir les Jeux du Pacifique 2027, 32 ans après les avoir organisés pour la dernière fois. This symbolic handover is a moment of emotion and responsibility. In less than 4 years, Tahiti will have the honor to host the 2027 Pacific Games, 32 years after they were last held in my country. Nous sommes profondément reconnaissants de cette opportunité qui nous est offerte et prenons humblement l'énergie de la flamme transmise en ce jour afin de la restituer en 2027 parée de l'esprit et du mana tahitien. We are deeply grateful for this opportunity and humbly that take the energy of the flame transmitted today with a view to add to it the spirit and the mana of Tahiti in 2027. Excuse me. It's the emotion. Nous sommes conscients de la responsabilité qui nous incombe et travaillons sans relâche pour faire des prochains Jeux du Pacifique une célébration inoubliable de la diversité et de l'amitié qui nous caractérise tant. We are aware to our responsibility and are working hard to make the next Pacific Games an unforgettable celebration of our diversity and friendship. Tahiti sera votre terre d'accueil lors de ces prochains Jeux du Pacifique. Soyez assurés que nous ferons en sorte que vous vous sentiez comme à la maison. La chaleur de l'accueil polynésien, la gentillesse de son peuple, la majesté de ses paysages, l'enchantement de sa musique seront autant d'atouts qui vont unir nos cœurs et nos esprits. Tahiti will be your welcoming land during the next Pacific Games. Rest assured that we will make sure you feel like home. The Polynesian hospitality, the kindness of these people, the majesty of its landscape, and the enchantment of its music will be assets that unite our hearts and minds. Nous vous attendons à Tahiti en 2027 pour laisser la magie de nos îles opérer afin non seulement réaliser des exploits sportifs, mais vivre pleinement une immersion culturelle à nulle part ailleurs, pareil. We look forward to welcome you into Tahiti in 2027 and to let the magic of our island operate not only to achieve sporting performance, but to fully experience an unprecedented cultural immersion. Nous vous quittons aujourd'hui avec le cœur rempli de gratitude et d'excitation, tourné vers un avenir festif. Rendez-vous à Tahiti en 2027 où nous continuerons à écrire ensemble l'histoire de l'unité du Pacifique à travers le sport. Today, we say goodbye with hearts full of gratitude and thrill, looking toward a festive future. See you in Tahiti in 2027, where we will continue to write together the history of Pacific unity throughout the sports. Tongio Tumas, thank you, merci beaucoup, Marururoa. Que vive l'amitié océanienne et que perdure l'esprit des Jeux du Pacifique. Long live Oceanian friendship and may the spirit of the Pacific Games endure. Et maintenant, place à la danse. And now it's time to dance.
Wow, a very emotional delivery there, I think, by Louis Provence, inviting the Pacific to come across to French Polynesia, Tahiti in 4 years' time. And very heartfelt, and also getting a big rise out of the Tahitian contingent here. Very proud. This, I think is the haka that they might have done the Taekwondo.
Laying down the challenge to the rest of the Pacific.
Come and meet the challenge in 4 years' time. That's the subtext, I think.
Hey, Annette, Tauto! Mo te hilua o inata. Tautoi! Tautoi! Mapapamoy no te hapna. te whātā kaiata, o te tani mai te kateka. Kau tupuna e hawaiti. Haka tiki tiki, tōmo. Eu koko paka 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 mai e hika. Kau tupuna e hawaiti. Haka tiki tiki, tōmo. Eu koko paka 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 mai e hika. O te whātā kaiata, o te tani mai te kateka. Kau tupuna e hawaiti. Haka tiki tiki, tōmo. Teo koko paka 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 mai e hika.
Well, the challenge has been laid down. See you in Tahiti.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Tahitian haka.
Hello. Félicitations à l'équipe de Tahiti pour le haka. Merci aux danseurs de Tahiti, ils méritent tous vos applaudissements. Give a clap. A big hand, please. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, that was definitely a very impressive performance for the Tahitian haka dancers. There's plenty more of that to come at the 2027 Pacific Games in where? Tahiti! Wow, Titawa, I really wish I could be there for the 2027 Tahiti.
Hello, Melly.
Oh.
Il faut apprendre à parler français pour aller à Tahiti. You should start to practice French.
Oh, okay. Bonjour, je m'appelle. So if you want to be in Tahiti in 2027, then we must, all of us start practicing French.
Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the final formalities of tonight's ceremony, to officially close the 2023 17th Pacific Games,
pour clôturer officiellement les Jeux du Pacifique 2023,
please welcome back on stage President Vidya Lakan.
So President Vidya Lakan being invited out onto the stage to formally declare the games closed.
Thank you, ladies. We just had a taste of what 2027 awaits us in Tahiti. Merci beaucoup, Tahiti. The Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Sagavari, the Governor General of Solomon Islands, heads of state and heads of governments, cabinet ministers, sports ministers, presidents and secretary generals of PGAs, members of ONOC and OSFO, representatives of international sporting federations, visiting dignitaries, athletes of the 24 member countries of the Pacific, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of my executive board, I welcome you all to the closing ceremony of the 17th Pacific Games held here in Honiara, in the Solomon Islands. We came from all corners of the Pacific to give credence to the purpose and objectives of these games, as promulgated by our forefathers when they established and hosted the first Pacific Games in Suva, Fiji in 1963. These games have been a gift from them to us, the future generation of Pacific Islanders. For us to meet, create bonds of kindred, friendship, and brotherhood amongst the people of the Pacific region through sporting exchanges between us without any distinction of race, gender, or politics. We continue to live the dreams of our forefathers and deliver on the purpose of these games when we meet every 2 years, be it at the Pacific Mini Games or the Pacific Games. The 17th Pacific Games was no exception. The government and the people of Solomon Islands, under the leadership of their Prime Minister, Mr. Sogavare, by hosting these games, not only united and strengthened the bond between the peoples of Solomon Islands, but also between the peoples of the Pacific. Mr. Prime Minister, when our 2016 General Assembly voted and decided that we would meet in Honiara in 2023 for the 17th Pacific Games, many wondered if the Council had made the right choice. Would Solomon Islands be able to organize such a huge event? This doubt lingered in the minds of many, and as late as last year, they were doubting on your ability to deliver these games on time. We commend you, Mr. Prime Minister, for your vision, for your commitment, and most of all, for your faith in your own people. We commend you in engaging a small band of experts with experience in delivering successful Pacific Games in the recent past, empowering them and providing them with the necessary resources to deliver these games. Whilst you gave the responsibility of organizing and delivering the games to the National Hosting Authority and to the Games Organizing Committee, the most difficult aspect is the weather for the 2 weeks. And I'm told very confidentially that the Prime Minister took the responsibility to organize the weather for us. He did it extremely well, and I think the athletes would want to thank him for providing us with the weather that enabled us to complete our games in time. The organizing committee, under the leadership of its CEO, Peter Stewart, working with thousands of volunteers and workforce staff, spending countless sleepless hours. They, in your own Solomon way, overcame many challenges, some huge, some not so huge, some of our own making and some outside of our own control, delivered what I consider to be the biggest Pacific Games ever. We thank the National Hosting Authority Chairman, Dr. Jimmy Rogers, and his board for their oversight and contribution in making these games so successful. They delivered a games of which every Solomon Islander should be proud. You provided us with world-class sporting facilities, many of them completed and handed over months before the opening of the Games. You housed us in very comfortable Games villages with excellent and quality meals at the dining room. Mr. Prime Minister, you and the Solomon Islands and the PGA of Solomon Islands had many critics. But you silenced your critics and emphatically proved them wrong. For us to have the Prime Minister of Solomon Islands as the Minister for the Games was a bonus. Mr. Prime Minister or Minister for the Games, we thoroughly enjoyed working with you and we found you a very productive and the working relationship you created to us helped us in delivering our wonderful games. Now, it is time for us to say our goodbyes as we prepare to leave the shores of Solomon Islands. We thank you and the people of Solomon Islands for your kindness, for your generosity, and for your hospitality. And for being such a wonderful host. We leave behind a changed Honiara, perhaps a more modern Honiara. We leave behind wonderful sporting facilities. We leave behind a large band of Solomon Islanders trained and experienced in the art of delivering major sporting events. To the volunteers, officials, members of the workforce, sponsors, and donor governments, on behalf of the athletes of the Pacific, I thank you most sincerely for the part you played in making these games so successful and memorable. Please take pride in the knowledge that your efforts made it all possible. To the athletes of the Pacific, I thank you for being part of this very successful 17 Pacific Games. My congratulations, first of all, to the Nickelodeonian team for topping the medal tally once again. And secondly, to all the medal winners, my congratulations. And to those who missed out at these games, please be reminded that your turn will come, perhaps at the next games, maybe in Palau or in Tahiti. In closing these games, in the name of the Pacific Games Council, I proclaim the 17th Solomon Islands 2023 Pacific Games closed. I call upon the sportsmen and sportswomen of the Pacific to assemble in 4 years' time in Tahiti to celebrate the 18th Pacific Games. May you display cheerfulness and harmony so that the spirits of our Pacific family of nations may be carried with great eagerness, courage, and honor for the good of humanity and for the peace of the world. Thank you so much.
Other major games, it too means that we bring down the curtain, this beautiful water curtain on these amazing games. Seamus and Lisa, on behalf of all of the internationals, thank you so much indeed, and would you pass on to Solomon Islands our heartfelt thanks and our privilege of being here with you these last 2 weeks. It's been an honor, it's been great, it's been successful. Thank you.
And as we are about to dim the lights, at the close has been officially closed now, the 17th Pacific Games. Also, before we take our final bow, it's been an absolute delight sharing all the coverage. It's been a pleasure being host for the past 13 days. From the bottom of my heart, congratulations to all the athletes. Well done. And on a personal note, Takio Tomas.
The water that connects us takes a moment here in the Solomon Islands as the 2023 Pacific Games come to a close and we set sail towards Tahiti. Our next host will add their third chapter of the 60-year legacy of the Pacific Games in 4 years.
Lakan very fulsome in his praise of Solomon Islands, what they turned on here, the biggest games ever in his words, and calling on the athletes to meet again in 4 years' time.
Mr. Lakan's invaluable contributions as president of the Pacific Games Council, the benchmark set by his outstanding leadership will forever be cherished across the Pacific. Please give him a round of applause.
A musical piece to send us out will be Yumi Still Yumi.
Mille merci à Monsieur
We are still together.
pour votre dévouement continu et votre leadership incomparable au cours des 30 dernières années. Vous avez marqué à jamais le développement du sport dans le Pacifique. Pour célébrer la clôture des Jeux du Pacifique 2023, veuillez accueillir le groupe de Yumi qui va vous interpréter une composition originale dédiée aux Jeux du Pacifique. Lumi Still Lumi, vous êtes toujours ensemble.
Ladies and gentlemen, to celebrate the closing of the 2023 Pacific Games, please welcome the Yumi Band with an original composition by our opening and closing ceremonies music director, Mr. Selwyn Doro. Give him a big hand. Performing Yumi Still Yumi, a song dedicated to the Pacific Games, meaning we're still together. Please give it up. Introducing our all-star stage band. On the electric guitar, Timothy Orudiana and Niklam Iro. Give him a big hand. On the acoustic guitar, we have Losa Takai. On the percussion, give it up for Alvin Rore. On keyboard, the dynamic duo of Danny Farodo and Timothy Aitorea. Holding down the foundation on bass is Gilroy Haro. And on the drums, the master of the big beat, Mr. Brian Tata. Give it up. Yumi still Yumi.
Pigments of flower, the red roses, the droplets of water on a thirsty land.
Across the sky, the river is flowing down from the mountain. We are flying together in different colors, and the rainbow that's stretching from island to island.
We can jump, we can walk, we can crawl, we can always do it together. We are together, united forever. Hey!
You may still me, you may stand up together. You may love one another.
You may still you may walk out together. Cause in one big family.
We are the Pacific. We are one people. You may still you me. Oh, you may still you me. Oh, you may still you me. Oh, you may still you me.
The seas and highway, the waking sail across the beautiful Pacific Island. Hey, yeah. Our identities is in the stories we tell. Yeah, shooting is life, in the depth of our voices. It's a pride, our hope, our life, our future. Far beyond the eyes of reality. One people, one Pacific, standing stronger, more than ever. Every tribes and every races, all in one to conquer the future. We rooted deep in the ring of fire, standing tall on the ocean water. Everybody hand let us close the source of our heavenly blessings. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. We thank you for giving the life we are living. We are one Pacific. We are standing taller. We are rising higher. We are the eyes of the nation. We are one Pacific. We are raising higher. We are raising higher.
We are the eyes of the ocean.
We are together, united forever.
You may still you me. You may stand up together.
We love one another.
You may still you me. You may walk out together.
Us in one big family. Father, we sing. We are one people.
We are together.
still you, me. We're still together. And in the spirit of our ancestors, the great Pacific voyagers, we journey forward across the Pacific Ocean that connects us all. A voyage that weaves together the stories of our people and strengthens the bonds of our Pacific family. One ocean, one Pacific. Farewell from the shores of the Solomon Islands and welcome Tahiti. May the spirit and mana of the Pacific Games stay with us all until we meet again under the Pacific sun.